What's going on, everybody? My name is Noah Hanson, and you are tuning into another episode of In a New Way. On this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 different lies that we've all been told in our lives. Growing up in the world, it's hard to avoid these lies being told to us. In the world that tells a lot of lies and believes a lot of things, not everything can be true, right? So we need to resource ourselves to the authentic truth in order to bring ourselves up to speed with our own power, with our own ability, with our own actions and responses to those actions, as in consequences to those actions. And so when we have the truth and the authentic truth, when we know the lies and we can spot them, we can rebuke them, it's important and it's powerful because we suddenly become more authentic. We suddenly have more inherent ability in our lives to do what we need to do to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish and to bring people into a greater awareness along with us. And so we can jump right into it. If you like this video, please like it. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, please do so. And I also invite you to share this video with anyone who can benefit from the content in this or anything on our channel. So our website is inanewway.com, and there's a lot coming for that website. There's a lot coming for this channel. There's a lot coming for everything that we are doing at inanewway.com. So once again, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. That's important so we can reach more people, right? And so anyways, let's jump right into it. The first lie that we've all been told. This one is something that's told to us pretty much from the beginning of our education. So this is the lie that we need to grow up to be someone. We need to grow up to be a CEO. We need to grow up to be in the CIA. We need to grow up to be a professional baseball, football, basketball, soccer player. We need to grow up to be something, right? We can't just be ourselves and then grow into who we are. That sounds good to me though, right? So that's a whole lie. The whole lie is we don't need to grow up to be something. We need to understand what we are, what we are capable of, what our passions are, what our purpose is. We need to realize ourselves. We need to grow authentic and be 100% genuine with ourselves. And then naturally, this will lead to us stepping into our inherent destiny, if you believe in such a thing, lead to us stepping into our best possible life and lifestyle. And this will lead to us being something without having to be something in the world. The whole importance of this lie and knowing this lie is because we are held down when we believe that our purpose, our power, and our, what's the word I'm looking for? Our significance is in the world. If we are a CEO, we still need to have it be where our most important part of ourselves is our self-growth, is who we are as people, not who we are as a CEO. Because what happens when your company goes out of business, the economy drops, and you can no longer be that CEO anymore? Do you lose every sense of self-worth that you had because you're no longer the CEO that this title was bringing you so much significance in life? No, we cannot get our significance from worldly titles. We need to get our significance, and we're going to go into this later in this episode, but we need to get our significance from who we are as people. We need to have self-love. We need to know what's good for us and what's not good for us. We need to know how to keep growing, in personal empowerment and personal ability, how to keep growing as ourselves, not as a CEO. Maybe a CEO is a tool or a vehicle for you to have that self-growth, right? But that growth is still going to be there whether or not you're still the CEO. You still would have grown as a person. Because here's the deal. And I'll just keep it simple. So when we are shooting to become a professional sports player, right? We need to improve our skill at that sport. We need to improve ourselves as an athlete in this one particular sport. Now, if our goal is only solely to get to that destination of becoming a professional sports player for a certain team, for whatever, certain league, then if we don't reach it, what does that make us? Well, it makes us a failure, right? We failed at that goal. However, if we switch it up, if we just switch up the intention from being an MLB player or being that professional sports player with that title, and we switch that intention to an intention of personal growth. I want to be the best possible basketball, football, soccer, volleyball, whatever it is, sports player I possibly can. I want to be the best athlete I possibly can. Whether or not this brings you a professional sports, opportunity, you will still have that personal growth. You will still not feel like a failure because you aren't not meeting a goal. You aren't failing at meeting that goal. You have met the goal and you are good at that sport now. You are better at that sport now. So the vehicle is in the action. The vehicle is in forming that company and building that company, becoming that CEO. That's just a vehicle, though. The real trophy, I guess, if you want to call it that, but the real empowerment factor in this, the real celebration that we should be having is in our personal growth, in becoming a better us, in understanding ourselves better. So that is the first lie, and this is one that's told to us from childhood pretty much, is that we need to be that job. We need to be that occupation. We cannot just be ourselves and be the best we can be and then possibly reach that outcome. But if we don't, then we still are our best selves, right? So that's the whole point. We need to be our best selves. We need to focus on personal growth rather than a worldly outcome, a worldly title, a worldly goal. Second lie. The second lie has to do with our bodies. It has to do not with our self-image. Well, kind of with our self-image, but it's more internal than that. So the second lie that we have been told is that our genetics control who we are, control our characteristics, control the diseases that we get. Now, genetics are blueprints of these things. Genetics help to manifest these types of things. They sort of determine what possibilities there are for these things manifesting. But the whole lie of it is that our genetics do not, in fact, control who we are. We control who we are. We make the choices. We say the words. We think the thoughts. And this, in turn, determines which way our genetics go. Now, this may sound crazy. This may be something you've never heard of before. And it actually has a title. It's called Epigenetics. And basically what epigenetics, and it's a new study in the 1990s, basically what epigenetics tells us is that our genes can shift and change, and the outcome of what this gene manifests in our bodies is determined by the medium that the gene is surrounded by, which is blood, right? So the medium of what's surrounding us, what's encompassing our genes and our DNA, is what's important in determining the outcome of what these genes then in turn create. And so it's very, very simple. And to explain it in a simple way, I'm going to introduce quantum physics into this conversation. So if you watched the introduction to quantum physics or anything about quantum physics on the OIC podcast or A New Way YouTube channel, is that quantum physics now shows us in science that our thoughts have power. Our thoughts can create energetic imprints in the world around us. Our thoughts can impose different things, make things happen. And this is shown by the random number generator experiment, the Dr. Emoto's experiments on water, and many others. So basically, our thoughts can determine what happens in the outside world, at least affect them to a degree. And so this is important because not only does the food and the nutrition that we're getting then in turn determine the health of our blood and what's going through our blood, what is going and surrounding our genes, and then causing that environment to be one way or another, but our thoughts can actually change the chemicals that are released in our blood as well. And this is reflected by stress. When we are stressed, we get certain stress hormones released into our blood, and this in turn it takes the blood away from the organs in the middle of our body, and it takes the blood into the arms and the legs. This is fight or flight. And this in turn does not allow our bodies to function in a self-healing way, but rather than I just need to get away from danger way, right? So it's not focused on recovery or health in the bloodstream. It's more focused on putting adrenaline to the bloodstream. It's more focused on getting us going, getting us out of a situation, and a reactive type of bloodstream, I guess. And so, as you can tell, I'm no doctor, but what's important about this is that if we can understand how to stop stress in its tracks, if we can understand how to take our body chemistry and keep it in a state of equilibrium and to help our bodies out, and then on top of that, eat the right foods, on top of that, think the right thoughts and do the right things, on top of that, be able to just look out for our health and to reduce stress and improve our ability to be able to relax, to be able to take away from that stress, to be able to get into a place of peace. If we can do these things, then our bloodstream in turn is healthier, and our bloodstream then in turn encompasses our genes and our cells and our DNA, and then determines in which way those genes are going to produce an outcome. And so this is proven by epigenetics. Epigenetics proves this. And if you want to, you can watch the video that I put into the link in the description below. This is a video by Dr. Bruce Lipton, who actually discovered epigenetics, who was one of the founders, of that sort of area of science when he was working with stem cells. And so to put it short and simply, we have more inherent power over our own bodies and its physical reflection, its manifestation of disease, its manifestation of health. We have more power over this than we originally thought, and this is proven by epigenetics. We are no longer held down by certain genes that are passed down from family member to family member. We can change this. It doesn't need to be imposed on us, and oftentimes it's our belief in that imposition. It's our belief in that gene that's going to manifest cancer because it runs in my family. It's our belief in our body's disease that causes the disease. This is still a new area of study, but is showing that this is a very true fact, that we are not controlled by our genes, that our genes do not impose on us certain diseases, at least not nearly as many as we originally thought. And we have power to control in which way our health goes, at least a lot more than we used to think. And so the environment that we put ourselves in, the things that we drink, that we eat, the things that we think, and the amount of stress we have in our life versus not, that is a cause of which expressions our genes manifest. Now, the third lie in this video that I'm going to tell you about is a pretty big one. It's a little more controversial for a lot of people, but that doesn't matter. And so, this third lie that we've all been told is that science disproves God. Well, what does that mean? Science disproves God. Well, a lot of people just take it for what it is. Science disproves God. I don't need to know the details of it. I just know that it does. And this is something we got to be cautious of in every circumstance, because if we're told a lie, if we're told something that is so broad in its content and it's so simple, if we're told a lie like that, and we believe it, then what's going to end up happening is we're never going to even be able to talk about this lie. We're just going to believe that we're right because we've been told we're right. And from that position, well, we can't really resource ourselves. We can't really get a productive conversation done. It's going to be just, I'm right, you're wrong, type of situation. It's not going to produce any sort of awareness or intelligence or education. What am I trying to get at here? Why does it matter? Well, the Bible cannot be seen as myth. It's a historical text. This is what every scholar, whether atheist or theist, believes. It's a historical text. It has a census in the Old Testament. It has battle plans and battle strategies and battle positions. It has, specific groups and families and members of people's families and specific numbers of people, and along with many other things. And then all of the cities in the Bible have been dug up, and, not all of them, but these cities are there. And so it's a historical text. It's not written as a myth. It's not written like a myth. It's not a myth. But some of the things in it are pretty unbelievable, and this is for a reason. God does that for a reason. He doesn't want anyone to think that he is a myth. Of course not. This is important to know, that we as humans really don't know much compared to the extent of what's out there. And so to say that the Bible is disproven by science is a false claim. It's not disproven by science. It just shows that, we may not know everything that's going on. Whether you believe it or not is your own choice, but you cannot say it's disproven by science when you don't know in what exact context and what exact events were occurring, what exactly was happening, why the people were writing what they were writing, what they actually saw. God's character is good, right? And so when we have goodness in our lives, when we are at peace, when we do have positive emotions, when we do connect with authentic love, that naturally brings up our health. Our health is reflected in a positive way by love. And the Bible says that God is love. And so it also says many things about God that show that he is the source of our health. Now, this would not make sense unless love wasn't actually bringing positive results and actually doing positive things for our health. And so it's very powerful, it's very inspiring, and I love talking about this stuff. So thank you for watching this video. If you got some value out of it, please share it with people who can benefit. And I want to invite you to a new way of understanding not only the world that we live in, but your own life and your own empowerment and your own ability. Thank you for watching.